Hello and welcome back to another episode. Today I want to tell you about a wonderful eBay experience that I've had, and it all begins with this edition of Astonishing Spider-Man. It is February 1996, Volume 1, Number 4, and it's a collector's edition collection in each book of various issues of Spider-Man which were being published by Marvel in partnership with Panini, I think, via Italy, and also in partnership with a London-based distributor to try and get Marvel Comics, and in this instance Spider-Man, into the hands of kids in Britain. And this is literally the copy I picked up from the High Street in Prestatyn. I went into the newsagent, spent £1.99, and this book was mine. It's been with me ever since. Everywhere I've ever lived, this book has been with me, and I think I've talked about it in a previous video when I was talking about Spider-Man comics. And this was the one. This was the one that first got me into Spider-Man, and the art is just magnificent. The clear influence of some of the best Marvel artists of all time is through this book. But it ends on a cliffhanger. There's a moment right at the end where Spidey has entered a sanitarium for the clinically insane or something, and Traveller, is that his name, is tempting him through a closed door. He's like, "Come on in, Spidey." And I am and have always been fascinated by what might be about to happen. There's a darkness to this. I mean, look at that. Look at him arriving on scene there. Just gorgeous art. But there's a darkness to this comic. There's an element where he's been dealing with the clone saga. He's just been having a fight with basically a version of Peter Parker. Oh, there you go. Yeah, wall crawling's my shtick, Parker, that kind of thing. And with all that stress, now he's got to go into the lion's den. And I was sort of frustrated, but also quite content with this book. I was frustrated that I didn't know what would happen next, but I loved reading this over and over again. And it's well loved, but also you'll notice in excellent condition, because I loved it so much. I love it so much. But then a couple of days ago, it occurred to me that maybe other people have this book or had this series and might be selling it online. I don't know why this didn't occur to me sooner. Obviously, eBay has been a thing since I was a teenager. So I've no idea why it didn't occur to me. But I searched, and very quickly other comics from the collector's edition series became clear. The first one, of course, was number 1. It's a gold foil edition, and lots of people get very excited about number 1s in comic runs, but there it was, and it was $14.99, so a bit more than the $1.99 that someone might have paid in November 1995. But I was quite happy to get it because, well, I have copy number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This might help me to fill in the blanks on what's been going on in this series. So I looked for issue 2 and issue 3 and found them on eBay. So there's issue 2 and issue number 3. These were £6 each. Again, reasonable for what they are. Collector's editions, more than one comic per book, and also again in really nice condition. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Brilliant. I now can begin, start at the beginning and go through to my beloved book number 4. It became clear though that this run, this collector's edition run with this band across the top, actually was something like 50, 56, 61 issues. And so I started favoriting others on eBay. I started going, oh, I quite like that. So I was watching them, the little heart button, boop, and You're told when maybe possibly a seller might have a deal for you. And a seller did. They reached out, and these books were listed for $6.95 each. So I wasn't going to buy them all in one go. But he reached out and he said, would you like to buy a book these books for $3.95 each, with postage on each of them? And I was like, oh, I can't afford that. Not $3.95 each plus postage for each one. And this is where it gets wonderful. I messaged him and said, is there any chance of bundling this together for the postage? So I was thinking, okay, fine, I'll pay £4 each, $3.95 each for these 7 books, but can we post them all in one go, since you know it's all coming from the same seller? And he got back to me and he said, I can do 7 books for £9 total, free postage. So down from £7 per book to just over £1 per book and free postage. And that's what happened. I got 7 more editions, 7 more issues in this series posted my way, and the seller was fantastic. It arrived with tracking in a couple of days, and shaboing, they're here, and they're all fantastic. They all have the type of artwork that introduced me to Spider-Man. The blocking in the pages is magnificent, and it's clearly the same story. Carnage, for example, turns up. This is number 6, so this is 2 volumes on from when Carnage is introduced, actually in my volume. So this is 6, and if we go back to 4 here, Carnage is in the building with lots of other monsters. Let's just see if I can find him. He's actually being there you go, yeah, being threatened by this guy. So he can actually reach through the symbiote and grab is it Catius, the man inside. Anyway, so amazing. £9, 7 issues. And then I looked at the rest of his shop, and he had another 12 issues from this series, from this run. And I said, well, what can we do on that, on those 12 issues? And he said, I can do you 12 issues, the additional 12, this is more than 12, but obviously 7 plus 12, for £11, 12 for 11, so less than £1 each, free postage. And I was like, come on, man, that's ridiculous. That's an amazing price, but at least let me pay the postage. You know, I don't want you to lose out on the postage. And he said, nope, free postage. And basically, in each instance, he made a bespoke listing for me, so with my name in the title of the listing, told me when it was up, and then I could immediately buy that listing from him. And I'm just amazed. I'm astonished, in fact, because now I'll just stack all these up. I don't just have the 1 volume. I have, I think, 23 volumes from that run. 23, and I have paid well below the odds for these individual issues. And it may well be that the seller had all these books for a long time on his store and just wanted rid of them. In fact, that's likely to be the case. I mean, how many people are really looking for this particular run? I don't know, but it's amazing. And this guy, I've thanked him. I've given, obviously 5-star feedback, and I was just like, you're a legend, absolute legend. And also made it clear that I really wanted to read this run, and now I have them. Just amazing, just amazing. But you may have noticed something. I don't have issue 5. So I've got issue 4. he gets to the end. He's about to go into the lion's den. The door closes, and issue number 5, which is pictured on the back of this book, you can see, I think that might be Spidey again attacking Peter Parker, or a version of Peter Parker. Well, I still haven't got it. Issue 6, I may even have issue 7 as well. I don't have issue 5, so I'm going to keep an eye out for issue number 5, and hopefully I'll have that full run, 1 to 5 at the very least, 1 to 6, 1 to 7, and number 4 will slot into that nicely. But I just had to tell you about this today, because it's been a dream come true, a dream that I didn't even think to have until a couple of days ago. A dream that certainly young me would have been amazed by, because again, this was not common. Marvel comic books, especially regular releases, were not typical in newsagents in North Wales at the time. So this experiment to try and get these collected little issues, 2.5, 3 comics per book into that market, is what all of this was about. This sort of 60-ish book run. I think the last one I have is number 61 from the year 2000. So it was around about the year 2000, I think 2001 perhaps, when it shifted away from collector's edition just to being volume 2, Astonishing Spider-Man, because it had become established. They weren't having to sell, as it were, the fact that these are special little books to us in the UK. But 23 issues now. I get to read them. I get to have more gaps to fill. You know, again, it's not a continuous run that I have, but amazing that they're out there, and that if you approach a seller, you never know what they're going to do, and you never know how desperate they are to sell. But also just how generous this guy was. Because again, a pound, more or less, just above or just below per issue. When individually they were listed for $6.95, and free postage. Just amazing. So there you go. Dreams can come true. Thank you so much for watching. I have been combating the flu for the past month or so. I'm actually still running a bit of a temperature, but it just goes and comes back and goes and comes back. It's been very annoying, and I'm not the only one to have it. Loads of people around here have had this horrible bug. But I just had to tell you about this, because it was just thrilling, absolutely thrilling. People can be lovely. Until next time, do take care. Bye-bye.